For this part of the tutorial, guys, we'll be looking at customizing the theme that we chose for our online store. Basically working on how the online store is going to look like in terms of colors, the images that we're going to add, the fonts, and how its general structure is based off of what we like and what we'd want to achieve. So let's hop into it almost immediately. So if we are looking to work on our theme, the first thing that we need to go to is online store at the left hand side of our main menu section, and then it's automatically going to take us to themes, which is automatically the theme that we chose, right? So what we want to do now is what you're going to see is you're going to see that this is the current theme of our store, and what we want to do is we want to click on customize when it comes to this particular theme, and then it's going to take us to this particular page. What I want you to look at firstly is number one, that the view of your online store is now the PC version of the online store. So the first thing we want to do is come all the way to the top right hand side of our screen, and we want to click the mobile version of our store. We want to work on this version of our store almost all the time, considering that 99% of our total audience will only come from the phone and nothing else. Now, I'm not saying neglect the PC version of your online store. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying don't look at it or don't optimize for it. I'm just saying that 99% of your total audience is gonna come through a cell phone, and you want to make sure that this version of your website that majority people are gonna see is in tip-top shape, basically. So the first thing that we want to look at here is we want to come to this tool over here, which is called the inspector tool, and we want to make sure that the inspector tool is on. The reason I want the inspector tool to be on is because there is a main menu section on the left hand side of the screen. I don't know if you guys saw this, but these are called sections. As you can see at this highlighted section here, that we are on sections. Underneath sections, we will have your settings, which will look like this, and we'll talk about them a little bit later on. But let's go back to sections. So underneath sections, you'll see that we have an announcement bar. Now, if our inspector tool is open, we can hover above the announcement bar, and it's automatically going to show us on our online store the mobile version where the announcement bar actually is. It's highlighted there by welcome to our store. If we go down, it's going to show us the header section as well. If we scroll all the way down to image banner, as you can see, it shows me where the image banner is, which is here. Again, it shows on the left hand side which one is the image banner. And then when you go to this featured collection, again, it automatically shows you that, hey, this is the featured collection. And if we go all the way to the footer, it'll show us where the footer is. So you can't say you don't know what you have been working on if you have the inspector tool open. So the first thing we're going to start working on is the announcement bar, which says welcome to our store. Now, there's totally nothing wrong with this, but the first thing I want to do is I want to change the color when it comes to this announcement bar. So if I'm going to change the color, I'm not going to click on the arrow on the side, but I'm going to click on the word, which is announcement bar. When I click on the announcement bar, automatically it's going to show this on the right hand side of my screen, and what you're going to see is what appears is going to first show the color scheme of the announcement bar section. So that's the first thing I want to change. I want to make it maybe gray or something similar to that. Yes, that is the only change that I'm going to make. But as you can see, guys, if you go through what is written here on this announcement bar section here to customize it, you'll see that you can add multiple announcement bars as well. Like, for example, if you want to add multiple announcement bars and you want them to rotate automatically, let's say welcome to our store, and then you say delivery, it takes 2 to 3 days, for example, or at the third announcement bar you wanted to talk about a sale that you're currently having, you're going to make sure that it rotates automatically first and foremost, and then these announcement bar, then when you add them here, they can rotate almost automatically every 3 or 5 seconds, depending on what you would want to do. But we're not, for this tutorial, we're not going to work on stuff like that. We're just going to create one announcement bar, and we're basically going to click on save because we were just changing the color section. And then what we want to do is we want to remove this welcome to our store, and we want to talk about delivery. So we want to click on welcome to our store, and then again on the right hand side, you're going to see that here is that welcome to our store, and it's written in text. So what we want to do is we want to highlight it and change it. I changed that to basically delivery takes 2 to 3 working days, and that is what I want on the announcement bar of my store, and that's it. I don't need it to auto rotate almost all the time. I don't, at this point in time, I don't have multiple announcement bars, but in the near future, let's say I'm running a sale, I'd probably want to put another announcement bar there, and it would rotate automatically. And this is how I would do it. As much as I have this delivery takes 2 to 3 days, I will add an announcement, and then it's going to give me a second announcement. As you can see now, we have the second announcement here, but we are not going to do that. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to change the color of this header section over here. So if I'm changing the color of this header section over here, again, I'm going to click on the word header, and then it's going to give me this section on the right. And the first thing I want to do is I want to scroll all the way down, and I'm going to change the first one to like black. I'm pretty sure this is black or something. I don't know. But now what you're going to realize, guys, alone is you're going to realize that it's only the header section that changed and not the main menu. Now you can leave it like this. There's absolutely nothing wrong. But I also want to change the main menu section into a cozy black. And then I'm going to click on save. And then now what you're going to realize is that the main menu section has been turned black as well. So that is going to be our header section as a whole. So we started with the announcement bar. We did the header section. Now it's time to move to this image banner. Now, firstly, I do not want an image banner for this particular store. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to remove this because I do not like it and I do not want it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's just that I don't want it. So I'm going to click on this little bin here, as you can see, and then I'm going to click on, and it's now deleted, and the only thing that we have is our collection. Now on that place where there was the thing that we just removed, now I want to add a slideshow. Now if I want to add a section, this is where I'm working. I'm going to click on add section, or yes, add section, and then it's going to give me this. So I'm going to click on add section, and then it's basically going to give me these options here. Now with these options, you can choose, and it shows you automatically which section is which. For example, this is how a featured collection is going to look. This is how a featured product is going to look. This is how a collection list is going to look, a rich text, and so on and so on and so on. So you're basically going to choose what you want to add based off of the style that you want to have for your online store. But for this example, I am basically going to want first start with a slideshow. This is a slideshow. I'm going to click on it, and it's automatically going to add it all the way on the left hand side here. So now as you can see, the slideshow is below the collection, and that's not how I want it. So I'm going to click on these 3, or is it how many, 6 dots over here next to the arrow by the slideshow, between the arrow and the slideshow. I'm going to click, and I'm going to hold, and I'm going to drag it all the way to the top. And then now you're going to realize that immediately after the header section, we have the slideshow section. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this slideshow, the word, so that I can customize how the slideshow actually operates. So let's do that, and this is what is going to appear on the right hand side. So the first thing you're going to see is the height of the slideshow. I want the height of the slideshow to not be large or medium or small, but I want it to adapt to the image that I will be putting on the slideshow. And then the next thing I want to change is this counter over here. As you can see at the bottom here, that this has a counter like 1 to 2 because it has 2 image slides. It has 1 and 2. I want to change that to basically dots. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my slides or my images rotate automatically. So I'm going to make sure that this box is checked as well. And then I want my slides to rotate every 3 seconds. As you can see, guys, it's rotating automatically if you watch this section over here. So I'm going to want it to rotate every 3 seconds. And then what I also want is I want the images to seem like they're moving. So I'm going to add ambient movement onto this. And then I'm trying to check if I want to add anything else. Now there's nothing else that I want to customize. I'm going to click on save. Now I want to add the images and add information to these basic slides. So let's start with the first one where I'm going to click again on the term image slide. And then this is what we're going to get on the right hand side of our screen. So as you can see that we can add an image over here. We can edit the image slide. As you can see here, it says image slide as a heading, and then we can make it small or big or whatever. And then we'll have the description, and then we'll have the button. Let's start by adding the images I want to add onto the online store. I'm gonna basically add these 2 images that I had already downloaded onto my store. And then this is how I'll add these images onto Shopify while it loads. And then you choose the one that you want to use for the first one. This is the one that we're going to take, and it's automatically going to change how the online store looks like almost immediately. And then here I want to write the name of that product. So this is the Nike Air Force One. And then the first thing I want to do is I want to make this one bold, and then I want to make it small basically. As you can see, guys, here it is here. It is changing. And then here and tell your brand story, this is what we're going to change. And then we're going to have something something great here, like for example, we can say iconic, because the Nike Air Force One is iconic, and Nike Air Force One is also timeless, and it's also athletic, right? And then we're going to give it that. And then what I want to do for this is I want to make it italics more than anything else. So it's Nike Air Force One, and it is like this now. So the only thing left for us to do now is to add the button label, or have a button underneath our image here that sends people either to the product or to the collection basically. So we're going to change the slideshow to see more, right? It's now see more, and then we're gonna link this button over here, guys. We're gonna link it now to a certain location. Again, you should have created these locations first before you even start thinking about customizing how your theme and everything else is gonna look like. So we're gonna click on this, and then this is what is gonna appear. We want to add a collection, obviously here. We're not gonna add a specific product, but you can add a specific product if you want under products. So we're gonna go to collection, and then we're gonna choose the sneaker collection, and now all of a sudden we have this on our slideshow. The next thing I want to do is I basically want to not show the container on the desktop version of my store. By container, this is what I'm referring to, by the way. Let's make it the desktop version, and then go down, and then let us show the container. You see, guys, it has a container now. The container is this white thing. I don't want to have it, so I'm going to remove it. I don't want it. And then I'm going to click on save. I'm done with the first slideshow of the store. We then move to the second slideshow. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on it. You can still do the same thing, guys, which is write whatever things that you want to write, like just like the first one that we just did. But for this example, we're not going to write anything. We're just going to remove almost everything that is written here. We're just going to remove it, and yeah, not show the container as well here. And then we're just going to add an image, and then we're basically going to leave it like that for the aesthetic. So the second image is basically going to look like this now, guys. This is how our store looks like, right? For me, it looks good. It looks great. Looks great for now. So that is going to be our slideshow, and then we're going to click on save. After the slideshow, I would love to have a collection list, if you may. So that's the next thing that I want to add. As you can see, guys, when it comes to this section, the sections here, we don't have a collection list. That means I have to add it, the collection list, and we only have the featured collection. So let me remove that as well. And now, as you can see, that our store, if I go up and down, it's just the footer section, and the foot, it's just the announcement bar and the header and the slideshow, and then the footer section over here. So what we want to do now is we want to add a collection list. So that is what we want to do over here. So I'm going to click on add section, and then I'm going to go to a collection list, and this is how a collection list is going to look like. Remember that we have already created collections for this particular store. So this is how the collections are going to look like. So what I want to do first, I want to reduce the size of this collection, and I'm going to click on it here. And then this is going to appear on the right hand side. Don't forget, it's always going to appear on the right hand side unless you make your windows smaller. And then the first thing I want to do is I want to change this into our collections, right? And then after our collections, I'm going to make it bold, and then I'm going to make it smaller, because I think I like smaller texts way more. Let's see how it looks. This is how it looks now. And then that's it. That's the only thing I want to do under here. I'm not going to change the color of this section. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to leave it like this. But now what I want to do is I want to add the collections that I created earlier on onto these images. Now I'm just going to come on all the way onto the left hand side. Firstly, let me click on save. Don't ever forget to save, guys, when you're building your Shopify store. It's not going to save automatically. So we're going to click on the first collection, and basically this is what we're going to get. This thing on the right hand side, we're going to select the collection that we want to first add, and it's going to be accessories, and then it's going to automatically change when we select, and this is what we're going to get. Again, this image is an image that I added on the collections when I was creating the collections before. You can create your own images using Canva and to suit your store and what you're basically trying to build, right? And then we basically want to do the same thing for the second collection, which is going to select collection, and then we're basically going to select it and then come all the way to the right hand side and click select, and we're done. We're going to go to the third one and do the exact same thing, which is click select. And then now all of a sudden our store is coming to shape. We have a nice slideshow. We have a collection list. We forgot to save though. We have a collection list. And then now what I want to add is a featured collection, 3 featured collections for accessories, for clothing, and for sneakers as well. As you can see, if we come all the way to sections, you're gonna realize again that we don't have featured collections because I deleted the other one earlier on, remember? So, but that's still not a train smash. We're gonna add 3 featured collections on this add section over here. So we're gonna click on it, and then we're gonna add a featured collection. It's the first one. So this one over here. Right, this is how it looks like. We're going to click on featured collection, and then we're going to add it. That's the first one. We're going to add the second one because we have 3 collections, and then we're going to add the third one. So after adding the 3 collections, we basically want to customize how each and every one looks like. First and foremost, we're going to reduce the text, and then we are basically going to add the collection and do a little bit more changes. But first, before we do that, we're basically going to click on save. This is how our online store looks like now. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering, this is a ready-made store for someone. So this is how I build the ready-made stores. So as I was saying that we're going to click on the first one. We're going to customize the first one. Again, when we click on featured collection, the text, this is always going to appear on the right hand side. So we're first going to change it to featured accessories because that is the first collection we want to add onto this. And then obviously you already remember we like making them bold, and then we're gonna make them small over here. And then after making them small, it is your choice if you want to add a description or not. For example, if you, when you were creating the collection, you added descriptions, remember? So if you click on this, it's gonna show the collection description. Let's click on save so that it can show it over here so that you guys can see. Oh, it's not going to show yet because we haven't chosen the collection. We're going to choose the collection just now, and then we're going to select the collection as, again, accessories. We're going to click on select. As you can see, then the description then shows all the way at the top. Well, we're just going to leave it like that. I think I like it when it shows the description as well. And then it shows the products that we have chosen, which is the accessories. And then what we want to make sure is it shows 4 images. It shows 4 products, and then it also shows 4 columns on the desktop version. And we're not going to change the color of anything. We're going to click on save. I think the only thing that I might have forgotten is I wanted to show the vendor, so I have to scroll all the way down, and then as you can see here it says show vendor, which is what I want. You can also show product rating if you have what are these things, what do they call them? Reviews and testimonials on your store, so that people can see the reviews and testimonials. And then we're going to click on save. And then now this is the first collection that we have. We're basically going to do the second collection the same way, where we click on it and this is what is going to appear all the way at the top. And then the second collection is, as we know, clothing. So again, we're going to make it bold, and then we're going to make it small, as you can see. Do we want to add a description? Yes, we did add it at the top. We're going to select one, add the clothing, go down, make sure it's on 4. It's on 4 here. And then make sure that we show vendor all the way at the bottom. And then we basically click on save. And then now we have featured clothing for our online store. Now we want to do the same thing for the third one, where we basically click on it and we go change the exact same things. But however, this one is sneakers. So for our sneakers, we do exactly the same thing. We make it small. We want to show the description, obviously. And then we want to select the sneaker collection. Click select. Go all the way down. Make sure it's on 4. It's on 4. And we're not changing the color for this one. Apologies for that. Go all the way down, make sure that it shows the vendor as well. And then we basically click on save. And now I want you to pay attention to our online store and how it has drastically changed from going, starting all the way from the header section. And then let's go all the way down. This is how our online store looks like now. The last thing that we want to do now is we want to basically add the footer menu. Remember, we created the footer menu. So we're going to come here to footer, and then we're going to click this arrow, and then we're going to click on add block, and then it's going to be menu. And then this is the menu, or the footer menu. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to click again on the footer, and then we're going to edit. We want to change the color of how the footer section looks like. So we're going to go all the way to the top, and then we're going to change it to black just to maintain the same color scheme. Now guys, we are done creating our online store or customizing our online store. You can basically click on anything that we have created. For example, the main menu section. Let's say we want to go to the contact us. If we go to the contact us and we click on it, this is what we're going to get. Now, again, if you want to make changes maybe to this contact us, you will need to edit sections. As you can see on the left hand side, you can add a section, let's say like a collection list, pages, a slideshow, or text, or anything like that. It is totally up to you. Let's say we want to go now to the collections that we created. Let's go to accessories, for example. When we click on accessories, this is what we're gonna get, guys. This basically, and then let's say we click on one product, and you're gonna see that this is what we're gonna get. Again, you can still edit how this page looks like over here in this section. So choosing what you want to add, what you want to delete as well. But that is basically how you would customize your online store, your Shopify store theme.